Welcome to Daily Meditation with Zohar Lavie.
So welcome everyone. Welcome to this session of the Daily Meditations, our last one of this week. I'm very happy to be with you, as some of you are sharing in the chat. It's been a very windy night and still a windy morning here in West Dorset. And feeling the kind of warmth of this space and the care and the strong Sangha connections in this space, even as we are arriving with the external and the internal storms of our lives. And some messages there in the chat sharing both the external storms, the internal storms, and that which we are facing. And so much love to Joss there, and to anyone else who's experiencing the kind of meeting, confluence of the internal and the external, coming together and finding that courage when we know what it is that we're facing. So really wishing to welcome you as people are still joining and flowing in. Also aware that it may be that these storms mean that some people who may have been planning to be with us perhaps are not able to, and hopefully we'll catch up with the recordings later. So also a deep welcome, a warm welcome to all those who will be joining us through the recordings, and really feeling the sense of community beyond location, beyond time also. And the session today will include, as it usually does, and it has been doing this week, a reflection at the beginning, and then some time for practice, and time for questions and reflections towards the end. So hopefully the sound is still okay, as it has been, I think, the last few days. Do let me know if not. And let's dive in. So taking a moment to feel into what's present for you, if you haven't done that yet, that internal, external weather check. And I'd like to begin with saying the refuges, as we have done in the last couple of days. So inviting you to feel the impact, feel what's happening as we listen, or as you say the refuges with me. And I will just put them into the chat because I think I didn't do it yesterday, and I'm sure it will be helpful for some. Seagulls haven't woken up yet, Alistair. That's why you can't hear them. There's no sound cancellation, but we will be hearing them probably before the end of the session. Lots of seagulls are my neighbours. So, yes. Namo Buddha, Namo Dhamma, Namo Sangha. Namo Buddha, Namo Dhamma, Namo Sangha. Namo Buddha, Namo Dhamma, Namo Sangha. And so feeling into what this opens up for you, and again, it can be a variety of things, just not just one thing. And also in particular, As we're continuing from yesterday, feeling how does this impact the sense of community? When we remember that which we share, that inspiration from the Buddha and the possibilities of awakening, the path and the teachings and the practices, and the sense of the community, that sense of belonging, maybe of empowerment. And so we're cultivating, right back to how we began on Monday, we're cultivating the practice of refuge within the context of this aspiration. That's the ground of our practice, the aspiration to practice for the well-being of all. The aspiration to practice for the well-being of all. And as we do this, as we practice in this way, as we open to the possibility of practice being a source of nourishment, of rest, of refuge, of safety, we're also deepening in resilience. And as some of you have been reporting, we can, through this way of practicing and looking, can feel more resourced and empowered to act, as well as hopefully, more skillful in our action, because we have that possibility to turn. We have that possibility to turn inwardly to a sense of refuge internally. And I want to use an example that a Palestinian friend shared with me. It must already be at least a month ago, maybe longer. And we were speaking, and he said to me, sometimes I just want to disappear into a cave. I just want to kind of disconnect from the news and all the terrible things that are happening, and just kind of have that sense of the refuge of the senses, we will say in Dharma language. And then I remember that that is not what I'm here to do, that I'm here to help and support others. And that becomes my refuge and my strength. This is what my friend was sharing with me, and it's been really inspirational for me, and I've shared it many times because it touches on this movement between the refuge of the practice, like we do when we practice formally, like we do when we come here, right? We kind of let go, we put down all the external stimulation coming in. We're not kind of having our alerts going off. We're not reading the news as we're tuning in, right? We're letting go. We're going into a cave, if you like, for this period of practice. So we have that aspect because that resources, that nourishes, that allows us to center and to ground. And we also have the refuge of our aspiration. So because we cannot do this all the time, and perhaps we don't want to either, for many of us, that sense of being in the world really matters, is important. We also have that refuge of our aspirations and our intentions, and the remembrance of kind of our place in the world. Part of that community, just like yesterday, we're really tuning in, supporting others, and being supported as we practice. And that today we're going to expand that. We're supporting also those who are not formally practicing with us right now, who may have never practiced. But through this practice, we are developing and attuning to compassion and to wisdom. And as we do that, as we work with our own hearts and minds, we both free up our energies to attend through action to the world. Yeah. So kind of both those movements, the internal and the movement externally. Yeah. So refuge is not something external to us. That's also an interesting thing. Of course, the external conditions can be very, very supportive, and in Dharma teachings we call it the seclusion of the senses. What we do when we come into meditation, really important, really helpful. really meaningful. But also we can find that refuge, and that's what we've been really exploring this week. Yeah, if you remember, every day I've been also giving some suggestions of how we can bring this moment to moment. Yeah, how can we bring this moment to moment into our experience as we practice? We connect to this inner source, yeah, of sanity, of safety, of alignment. And then our actions in the world also become our refuge, especially when we're aligned with our ethics, and with our aspirations. That becomes our refuge, and it becomes a refuge for others. It becomes a refuge for others. So I'd like to also give an example of this. This is from another friend of mine, Jewish Israeli friend, called Arik Asherman, who's been an activist for decades and one of the most inspiring people I know. And this is something he also wrote. He wrote about a month ago in his newsletter. This was during the Jewish festival of Hanukkah, where people light candles every evening. And this is something he was sharing in his newsletter. He wrote, "On Thursday, as I was preparing to light the Hanukkah candles at home, I received a call that Jewish settlers had been spotted in Maya El Dir, one of the shepherding communities, the Palestinian shepherding communities that my organization has up till now succeeded in protecting. I grabbed the candles and the Chanukiah, the vessel in which they're lighted, and dashed. I lit the candles in the village and stayed the night. That was where the light was needed. Afterwards, one young man from the shepherding community wrote to me, 'Thank you for being my light this year.'" So I find this very moving. And that sense of, we carry that light, yeah, whether it's the form of the unlit candles, whether it's the form of the holiness of our intentions and our love for the world. We carry that light within us. And when we remember that that is what we're doing, that resources us and supports us to keep practicing. And it also becomes a light that supports others. Yeah? So that sense, that beautiful, thank you for being my light this year. Yeah? In this steadfast commitment to stand with others that are suffering, to do the little that we can do. So we can bring these intentions and this knowing and this light, and the intention to keep tending to this light of compassion and wisdom in the world. We can bring this into our formal practice. We can bring that intentionality, we can embody these aspirations also in our formal practice. And that's what I'm going to invite us to do today, to bring this sense of, as I am practicing right now, and may I be a refuge, may I be a light for all life. May the light of compassion and the light of wisdom shine through me, to illuminate, to support all beings everywhere. This is our aspiration, and what happens when we remember it as we're practicing, and knowing that drop by drop, even if our mind is the most distracted mind on the planet, it feels like sometimes. And all we're meeting is the restlessness, drop by drop. This is what we're practicing, and this is what we're offering to the world. So maybe I'll end here, and we'll go into practice together. With whatever is present for us right now. And so taking the time, as always, to find your posture. or to settle into a posture more fully if you've been in it for a while. Already bringing that sense of the compassion and wisdom that we are in service of, bringing that in as we check in with the posture, to make any adjustments that are needed. All of this in the service of an embodiment of. So releasing any areas of tension if you notice the build up. Checking in with the alignment, the uprightness of the posture depending on your posture, sitting, reclining, standing, walking. Finding a balance with a degree of ease. And as we're doing this, inviting that deepening of awareness in the body and through the body. If it's helpful, we can use the sensations of contact, sensations of contact between body and that which supports the body in itself. And we can use these contact sensations as a way of gathering the awareness in the body. They themselves can sometimes feel like a refuge, just resting into that contact. So we're deepening the awareness in the body, and we're also inviting it to open, expand through the body. Light sense of the whole body here. Compassion and wisdom of this practice supporting us. And for those who wish, we'll gently repeat the refuge phrases, taking your time noticing what opens up. Namo Buddha, Namo Dhamma, Namo Sangha. Namo Buddha, Namo Dhamma, Namo Sangha. Namo Buddha, Namo Dhamma, Namo Sangha. The space of the body is open contact sensations of ground. If it's helpful, we can choose a more precise anchor for attention, like the breath or the sounds or the meta phrases. And if it's helpful, we can stay with the contact sensations and the whole body awareness as the anchor, just noticing what works for you. Let's take some time to settle into that practice, remembering an aspiration of compassion and wisdom, feeling yourself plugging in to this community of practice, being supported, also offering support as you practice. Let's take some time with this in silence. With kindness, interest, compassion, noticing, acknowledging its unfolding in experience, releasing struggle and reactivity as we turn towards this moment of experience, meeting to it, attending to it, with the remembrance of everyone else here practicing, supported and supporting. We engage in the best available way to us right now in these conditions. Letting go into the support, relaxing into the support, feeling that movement like the in and out breath, supported and supportive. Tending to the anchor of attention again and again. As a movement of compassion in the world and in ourselves. Continuing to practice and explore. moment by moment, turning to experience just this here and now, the anchor of attention, body, or anything else that is arising, the so-called distractions. Turning, acknowledging, releasing struggle. Taking refuge in the Sangha, in the community of practice that is supporting us as we are supporting it. And letting go into that support. Taking refuge also, if you wish, if it's helpful, in this intention of compassion and wisdom. And attuning to this possibility to be a refuge ourselves. An inner refuge for self and for others, for all of life. A vehicle for light to shine, illuminate the world and all its beings in compassion and wisdom. And we continue moment by moment, resting into that which supports, finding the refuge of this moment as it appears, letting it nourish. And expanding out whatever way you wish and feel to. It just be that intention, may I be a refuge. And may be a sense of actually sending out that safety, that light, that solidarity. And for the last few minutes of the practice, tending to the anchor, attending to your experience, taking refuge, being refuge, in and out breath, whatever is more needed, or the two in mutual dependency and support. Resting into the refuge of the practice, of the community. Resting into that inner light within us. And that aspiration for it to shine and support all beings on this journey of awakening and of freedom from suffering. When the bell rings, remembering our aspiration, may our practice be a support for all life and all beings everywhere.
Today's podcast is an offering to you from our archive of freely available live daily classes. We make wisdom teachings and meditations as freely available as possible to as many people as wish to practice. You can help ensure we can continue to support a worldwide Sangha by leaving a review wherever you get your podcasts, by sharing this with someone who'd be interested, and by offering a small financial support at sangha.live/donate.